did you think would be the hardest thing, and what turned out to be the hardest thing for you?
I felt that the more I know someone, the worse I am at interviewing them when it comes to a podcast. And I know that people get offended very quickly. You don't want to mislead people. At any point, I say something that makes you uncomfortable. I cross a line. You want to say something, please tell me, stop me. Like most things, I discussed them with Kunal.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm thinking about this. And he said, I think it's a really good idea. But where's the money going to come from? And he's like, you put some of your own money into it. No, the only conversation that happened was when I said, I'm putting this together and I would like you to come on it. Not because you're my sister-in-law, but because I really genuinely respect you for who you are.
Would you rather be caught pap without any hair or makeup, or would you rather be caught papped doing something that you don't want the world to be watching? Few years ago, I read a book. It was called The Perils of Being Moderately Famous. The voice of that book is one of my favorites. Sometimes the lines just pop into my head because if I were to ever write, I wish I had that wit. That same voice now is part of a podcast. And this time it's a podcast that she's hosting. I'm speaking of Soha Ali Khan, and she's with us in Just to Filmy again. Hi, Soha. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me, Rohini. It's so nice to be
It's
here.
amazing, first of all, to see you do these many things, okay? But at the same time, I go back to your book and I know that it stems from this place of finding your place, and finding your voice.
Yeah.
Is your podcast also now a step towards that for yourself? Let's start with that.
Actually, my podcast does stem from me trying to not only find my voice, but to find my bearing in my mid-40s. I suddenly started to sense things change.
Yeah.
Like my body changed so much more than postpartum. I put on 2 kilos, which for other people, they'd be like, you're so fit and you go to the gym and, I felt it.
Yeah.
Like I felt my body change. I felt my skin change. I felt my moods change.
Yeah.
I felt my mind change and I needed help. And I got that help because I'm privileged and I have access and I have resources. And I spent a lot of money trying to optimize my wellness. And I felt like every conversation that I had with a therapist, a psychiatrist, a nutritionist, a gynecologist, a hormone expert helped me. And I shared with my friends. And I said, you should be having white pumpkin juice every morning. It's really detoxifying. Have you checked your progesterone levels? You can have magnesium if you're having insomnia.
Yeah.
But do a blood test before, of course. All those conversations I was having. And I thought, why not invite some people that I know, sit across a table, record these conversations. That naturally lent itself to becoming a podcast and share and maybe try and create a community whereby if I benefited from it, I'm sure maybe some other people might.
This is so underrated, Soha, because thank you. This is so amazing. Okay, we're all in this. Oh my God, thank you. Okay, the reason I'm saying this is because the weird thing about women, okay, is that there's only two sorts of women in our existence. One is the ekdam matlab self-sacrificing Devi,
Right.
and the other one is the kathor sort of like vamp, right? But if you could be either, you're still going through these changes.
Yeah.
And no one talks about it.
No.
It's so strange because I feel like what you're trying to talk about should be talked about all the time.
Yes.
But you're so right because we just don't have these conversations.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird because these are all health related.
Yes.
Per se, but we're not doctors.
No.
So we have to be very cautious as celebrities.
Yes.
Before we even make a statement. Like I just saw you say, have magnesium, but check your blood.
Yeah.
So here's my question to you. When you approach something like this, there will be a lot of disclaimers because there's a lot of things that you have to be careful about on a podcast like this.
Yes.
What are your sort of like staples that you need to worry about?
Well, as you said, for example, I want to say that when it comes to a podcast, and I know that people get offended very quickly. You don't want to mislead people. I did put up a reel the other week where I was having raw garlic in the morning, and I didn't expect so many people to respond to that. I mean, it was about 15 million people have seen it and commented on it, and I just thought this is something that I do. But they said, you're chewing garlic and it's bad for your teeth. There's a way of doing it. Nobody told me that. So I chew garlic, I swallow it, and I shared. And they said, if you want to do this best, you should chop it up, you should let it rest for 10 minutes, and then you can ingest it with a glass of water. Some people do chew it naturally as well, though. So you have to figure out what works for you. But I had not fully researched the art of chewing garlic. So my approach to the podcast is I am not an expert. I'm a consumer of information. I'm somebody who's looking for that reliable, accurate place to go to get answers about a variety of subjects. So I have the questions, which is why I'm conducting the podcast and asking the questions. Now I understand also information from an expert sometimes can be dry and uninteresting.
Yeah.
It might be engaging to see a celebrity that you like, that you hope is going to be a responsible role model. They may or may not be, but it's engaging content. At least it gets views. I wanted to marry both. I didn't want to get a celebrity, but I wanted to get a phenomenal woman who connects with that subject. And then I wanted to get an expert who at least has the knowledge and the experience, maybe a degree, to back up what they're saying. So they gave us the takeaways that we can apply. And we also get the story that is engaging from a real person.
So these are the combos now. So there's an expert and there's someone who we know.
We may not know. There's some people that are completely not famous. I keep saying there's real people or normal people, as if celebrities are not normal people. Some of them are not. But
some of them are not.
Just, your average.
But I must talk to you about this. See, because I do this for a living, okay? And I want to ask you, how is it to be in my position, okay, to host these sort of celebrity chat shows?
Yes.
Talk to us about what did you think would be the hardest thing and what turned out to be the hardest thing for you?
I felt that the more I know someone, the worse I'm at interviewing them. Because I get so, I feel like I don't want to exploit my closeness to that person in terms of the questions that I ask them, or for them to feel obligated to be authentic in a way. They are authentic, but to give too much of themselves. So, for example, in an episode with Kareena, that I think I was my most unsure.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when we're speaking about something like positive parenting.
Yeah.
And I know how close she is to her family and how much that means to her. So I think I was doubly sure that I'm going to protect her more than I protected anybody else and make sure that I don't make her feel uncomfortable. To a point where perhaps I didn't even ask certain questions that I should be asking, like some obvious questions I would ask anyone else. But then I did.
This is part 2 of the podcast episode.
No, but I keep saying I will, I asked, but I said, if at any point I say something that makes you uncomfortable, I cross a line, you want to say something, please tell me, stop me right there. And I said that for a lot of episodes. We have some sensitive subjects like oncology.
Yeah.
We have gender transition. We have suicide prevention. So we have a lot of subjects where people are very generously sharing. And they don't need to.
Yeah.
They're only sharing in the hope that they're speaking to someone and potentially helping them.
That's amazing.
And I just want to keep saying that, I will ask the questions, as you often ask questions, but please feel comfortable to say no at any point.
That's lovely. What about scheduling?
Getting the dates is the most challenging thing. And now we have 2 people, no? We have a very busy expert who obviously has a bunch of patients or clients.
Yes.
And then we have a celebrity.
Yes.
Sometimes even, all of us are so busy. And then there's me, and then there's the studio.
Yes.
And then there's a bunch of other people.
Wow.
So that is the most.
So has finally figured.
I'm producing, guys. It's tough.
It's tough.
I'm producing, I'm investing. There's no brand, there's no sponsor, there's nothing behind this. We told everyone who came on the show as well, we'll give you some coffee.
Oh, lovely.
But, please do your hair and makeup and rock on up.
Oh, wow.
And everyone has been that kind.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so strange because not even a month ago, Kunal was sitting right here.
Really?
Yeah.
I can feel his presence.
No, and then I remember a video the 2 of you all put out where he's like, "Tum bhi apna YouTube."
Yeah, ek aur podcast or YouTube.
तुम भी अपना YouTube channel चला रही हो. No, but I know where yours stems from. I know where his stems from. It's just the timing of it right now.
Yeah, it was so weird that he starts a YouTube channel in the same month that I do.
Yeah. Did you get advised by anybody else that you should start a podcast, or was this something, as you mentioned, that it was a need for you to build this community?
I think it came from within me.
Yeah.
And then, like most things, I discussed them with Kunal.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm thinking about this. And he said, I think it's a really good idea. And I think this is something that you might be good at. And I think you'll enjoy it, most importantly. And I said, okay, but how am I going to do it? And, usually I'm used to people giving me money to be on screen, to do something. So I was like, but where's the money going to come from? And he's like, you put some of your own money into it, no, and build it.
Oh my
So I was
God.
like, I don't know how to do that. I'm an actor and I'm a model and then, endorse things and whatever. So I don't know how to do this. So he said, no, you'll figure it out. And he put me in touch with a wonderful team of people, so there's an Aman and there's a Bhumika and an Anish and a Yash. And some of them are, I swear, they're like 20. They don't wake up till noon, and I'm messaging them at 7 a.m. And I'm like, they're not going to wake up for 4 hours. And then Bhumika will message me at 3 a.m. And it's like, well, in different time zones.
Yeah.
But
But
they're
it's so
fantastic
fun.
people,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's so fun. What have been your key takeaways after hosting the podcast? Because often what happens is you start something with only your knowledge.
Yes.
And then what you realize is in the exploration that you learn so much more.
Yes.
So can you list out a couple of things that perhaps just changed your life through this process?
So many things, some of the most mundane subjects you think you're not going to learn anything from, and then you do. I learned everything from statistics. Like 1 in 6 people who kill themselves are housewives. That is a statistic that I found.
Oh my
Very
God.
surprising. I learned about hormones. I did know my own hormones. I do know about perimenopause and menopause. I do know that we have a 28-day cycle, but I didn't know that men also have a hormonal cycle. Did you know? Do you know how long it is?
No.
It's 24 hours. Did you guys know? So your hormonal cycle is from morning to
Night.
like night. And your luteal phase, do you know what a luteal phase is? No, he's like, I don't know what a luteal. So our phase where we need rest and compassion, yours happens at night when you're sleeping.
Night.
Isn't that nice for you?
That's so quickly
And ours is
regenerative.
28 days. So we have ups and downs.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to be in tune with our bodies and maybe embrace life in a way that perhaps is kinder to our bodies.
100%. And I feel like the sort of, what do you say, the advice that they give to men, I've read this a lot recently, that for women who are working in the same workspaces as men, it's completely different because our moods, our hormones, and our bodies are doing different things on different days versus a man's reset.
Yes.
They can come, these guys are like,
they're like,
my poor camera boys are taking the blame for all of the men.
And they can't even speak.
So, but you guys basically have it good, yeah? I mean, do you ever wake up bloated? No. No, they have no idea.
What is that?
What is that?
But it's very important for men to also understand women.
100%.
Like when we were joking about this, Kunal and me, when we introduced this podcast, and he's like, if it's called All About Her, then why am I here?
Exactly.
And I said, because it's important for you and you add value to my life and I add value to yours. And we're really doing this together, all of us.
You have a slew of very, very fun guests, I may say. I watched the first episode. It's on YouTube, by the way, guys. You can type Soha Ali Khan's YouTube channel.
Yes.
That's where it shows up. And I saw the first episode with 2 of my absolute favorites. There's Malaika and there's Rujita Divikar. Rujita, of course, is my grandmother in like closer to our age. Like, she's amazing,
She's
dude.
amazing. She's amazing. And she's so like pragmatic about stuff.
Yeah, and she gives the best advice because it's affordable advice.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's realistic. Like,
it's true.
You can actually cook the stuff that she writes in her book.
Yes.
There's nothing which is out of reach.
Even I can, because I can't cook anything.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's very good. But who is a guest on your podcast who surprised you? Because that's always fun.
There are many who I've met for the first time. They're very well-known people. But for example, Trinetra I met for the first time.
Yeah.
For example, Hina Khan I met for the first time. We'd spoken on the phone. Prajakta I'd got to know a little bit. But, some of my longest conversations have been across the table during a podcast with these people. And I think that there are lots of things. I think if you really spend an hour with somebody and you come away from it having not learned anything, then you probably weren't listening very carefully.
100%.
So I think you can learn something from everyone. In terms of surprising, lots of people. Urfi has been on the show. We had a wonderful episode on PR, which is something that I'm still understanding. What is PR? How much does it cost? Why is it important? And is that all that it is? Is that all that exists to make you famous? Sometimes just PR machinery, and there's nothing backing that, and suddenly it goes poof, and it all goes away. So she was also very forthcoming, and such a clear and quite a brilliant mind in so many ways.
So true.
Luckily, fortunately for me, I don't make impressions of people until I meet them.
Oh, that's
so
good.
It's not like I had particular expectations from people, but I was so grateful to Sunny Leone, to share about her journey, whether it was IVF or adoption. I think especially to talk about the choice of not wanting to carry a child, which is, I know for a fact that women put themselves through so much, like so much, in the attempt to become pregnant, such that they can become a mother.
It's hard, yeah.
When there are options that people do not explore, not only because, of course, certain things might cost money, like IVF, but adoption, other things, they're still not subjects that we talk about
So true.
very openly. And I think we can. And these are things that we could explore. You can be a parent without becoming pregnant.
Yeah.
So is the question that you want to parent or that you want that journey of being pregnant? Those are two separate questions.
Wow. My God, this is like, I can't wait for this episode right now.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's one of my favorites. Even the one on cancer and the cancers that affect women. And what surprised me on that episode, we of course had Hina speaking so wonderfully and generously about her journey. But Dr. Limai, Dr. Sivanti Limai, who's a leading oncologist, was there. And I know doctors, and I know that they are wonderful doctors who have a human side to them. But she shared what makes her humane as a doctor and her own experiences with death and illness. And those were so touching. So I was surprised by that.
You know, in your book, I will never forget, my favorite chapter is All Roads Lead to Saif.
Yeah.
And you were so candid about the fact that, you know, this is truly how a lot of the media has perceived you forever. The funny thing is that here you are hosting a podcast and Kareena has already done it.
Yeah.
Okay. And there are also other people who are doing it. Maybe, you know, Neha Dhupia.
Yes, yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
Neha's already doing it. How did you, there is a voice inside of us that always comes and says, yeah, why am I doing this? And how am I going to be different?
Yes.
Did that ever play a, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, the idea is to add value and create something that is not just something that is already out there.
So true.
Of course, that doesn't mean I've consumed everything that is out there, but I know that I wanted to create, and I know that this is not going to happen overnight, which is why this is not like a seasonal thing. This is something that I want to slowly build.
Okay.
And really, the attempt is to be able to give an episode every week.
Wow.
Forever. If
Wow.
possible.
Okay.
You know, having said that, I don't know if I can deliver on that,
No,
but
that's fine.
that is the attempt, to have those conversations. And at the end of that, to maybe create a one-stop place where you go with your questions about women's happiness and wellness. And that includes your health, but also your financial health.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful episode, I think, with Radhika Gupta from CEO of Edelweiss about managing your assets. Women are earning money now, but we still don't manage our own money.
Sure.
There we say, oh, mujhe samajh mein nahi aata hai, this is a man's world. So apne husbands ko, apne fathers ko, they give the reins to control. So how to change that? How to demystify the world of finance and make it really basic? And also to explain to you that even with 50 rupees or 500 rupees a month, you can start an investment journey, which she's done very well. So all those things, I think, I've forgotten your question.
No.
So to create that community.
Yeah, to create that community, also to have your own sort of community, that's important. Also because I will never forget that chapter. How do you make sure that you're not going to be played ever about it being a contest?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that is also such an important thing between women.
Yeah.
And here are two women, okay, who are both successful, both famous, both in the same household, now kind of similarly in the same space.
Yeah.
Did you, for example, tell her about this?
Yes.
And what was your conversation like? Was it about how different it would be? Did
No,
you ever have to worry about it?
No. And in fact, the only conversation that happened was when I said, I'm putting this together and I would like you to come on it, not because you're my sister-in-law, but because I really genuinely respect you for who you are and how authentic you are. That doesn't mean that you share everything of your life.
Sure.
In fact, you're very private about many aspects of your life, as you rightly should be, because you are not a product, you're a person. And we sometimes forget that when we think of Kareena Kapoor. So what you do share is real, whether it's your skin, whether it's your holiday pictures, whether it's your figure, whether it's your parenting, whatever it is authentic. And I think especially when it comes to parenting and the importance that she attaches to family is something that really touches me. So I felt to have that conversation on positive parenting, not as a superstar, but also a little bit as a superstar, but also just as a person.
As a person,
You know, how do you raising an individual, you know, and all of what comes with that. I wanted to have that conversation with her.
I think it's amazing because I feel like what you've done here today is put together a space for women who, as I said, you must have heard this, 40 के बाद औरतों का क्या होता है? 40 के बाद we don't exist. But the weird thing is when I saw Malaika on your episode and she said something and I just paused. She said, I'm turning 50.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I should not be surprised. Because I think that every woman who can take care of herself, who's privileged enough to do that for themselves. And I think a lot of us, it's not about the money, it's about how we value our own health, right? And our own well-being. I was so happy that she was being so honest about it. Because women, it's taboo for us to even talk about our age. So I think that's what you're getting to here. So we've never had this chance.
No, I'm so happy to hear you say that, and I understand that it's going to take time, which is why I want to, keep reminding myself that this is just the start. And I do want to, the reason I'm saying it is because if I tell you this, then maybe it'll hold me accountable to actually keep this journey going.
100%.
So then I'll be like, okay, I do have to record these episodes and deliver and find people. There's a long list. I have such a long list of subjects and potential guests and people, and I'm reaching out to people. Like people say, who do you want to have? Who's like a wish person that you want on your list? I want somebody who is struggling with weight loss. There are many people who we know and who we don't know. I'm talking about in normal lives, not celebrities, who have lost weight. Some of them have lost sudden dramatic weight. Some of them perhaps have used Mounjaro and Ozempic. I have a wonderful endocrinologist who will talk to us about whether and when it's appropriate to do these things.
Serena Williams is now the poster child for Ozempic. Did you see that?
It might be tough to get her.
Sorry?
It might be tough to get her. Yeah.
No, never say that. Soha, now I'm going to tell you something. Never ever think it's tough for anything.
Really?
I'm looking at Michelle Obama on your podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, because she has to be on it at some point.
Yeah.
I hope you have these dreams for your own podcast. And somebody who can really inspire the daylights out of you, one of the guests on your own podcast, and that is Prajakta.
Yeah, absolutely.
Prajakta is that girl.
Yes,
she used to be an intern at this radio station.
Really? I didn't know that. That's crazy.
It's amazing. Because that girl just never... Everything's possible.
Everything's possible. And hers is a wonderful episode on women in writing.
Oh, lovely.
And just how, even in Europe, even in advanced Western first world countries, women have not written as women for so long.
Absolutely.
And even Apna, J.K. Rowling, didn't say she's Joanne Rowling.
Yeah.
She left it a bit, J.K. could be anyone.
Yeah.
It could be John.
Yeah. Gender neutral Rowling.
Yeah, because she wanted, there's a lot of things that you think when you're like,
gender with
girl
J.
who's written a book, I don't know if I want to consume that, and then went on to become Harry Potter.
Okay, so Ali Khan, you're going to look into that camera.
Okay.
And you're going to answer some really fun questions. If your life were turned into a movie, Soha...
Oh God, don't ask me what will be the title of the movie.
Who would you cast to play you?
Firstly, I don't know about this movie being very exciting. And what genre this movie will be. But I think, I don't know, give me some options, at least. Let it be
I
like
don't know, Prajakta Koli?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with Prajakta Koli. She's very, very popular and I like her very much. Now she has similar hair to me also. She's cut her hair.
She's cut her hair. If you want an actor, writer, podcaster, inspirer, influencer, tell us a career path that you would most likely follow that nobody would expect. Like, give us something completely way out.
I would be a detective. I would be, like one of those people who follows people. Like what are they called? Like one of those investigators.
Why?
Because I was really good at that. I used to do that when I was 5. I used to follow my father around and be like, stop following me, and like when he's in meetings and things.
You and Mahib then, because she'd have binoculars.
Yeah.
And you'd go following people. Who's the most filmy person in your already very filmy family?
Oh, it's a tough choice between Kareena and Kunal.
Okay.
Because they both are like filmy kiras.
Between you and Kunal, who is the bigger movie buff at home?
Kunal watches anything and everything. Like there's no quality control. Like, I'm just like, but he's like, this is my job now. I'm a director and I'm a writer. So I must see everything.
Oh no.
So he'll just literally watch everything. So I guess, I mean, I pick and choose. So I guess it's him,
Yeah.
if you mean in terms of quantity.
Also, you're the more discerning
I'm the more
viewer.
discerning one, yeah.
What's a guilty pleasure film that you watch way too many times?
See, I like watching murder mysteries only. I only watch something if somebody's died. And I want to solve like who's done it. And once you know who's done it, then you don't want to see it again. So I generally typically don't see things again.
Would you rather be caught papped, without any hair or makeup?
I thought it was without any hair. I'd be like, I don't want to be papped bald.
Would you rather be caught papped without any hair or makeup, or would you rather be caught papped doing something that you don't want the world to be watching?
I mean, definitely the latter. Because I don't think I'm. Can I wear a little bit of under eye concealer and just a touch of mascara, and then I'm fine.
What's the one piece of advice that you'd like to give women or men who are watching your podcast for the first time?
My advice is to watch the podcast. That's it.
Super plug, don't you think? On a scale of 1 to 10, rate yourself as a podcaster.
I mean, obviously, I rate myself 9 because I can't rate myself 10 because there's always room for improvement.
Amazing. Now rate yourself as someone who's promoting your podcast.
9 because there's always room for improvement. But I think I've done a decent job.
And the last one, if you had to choose your dream guest on your podcast, a couple, 2 women, 2 men, 2 anybody's, who would you want on the next episodes?
As I said, I'm looking not for a known face, but an Ozempic journey. That's what I want. So 2 people that I would like to have, and I'm happy because they've said yes. And I know they're not hers, but they've been written by her and they've been built by her and they've been shaped by hers, Kunal and Bhai. So I think that they would make a good combination.
Wow, when is that episode dropping?
It's not happening. I mean, we've not even written it yet. I don't even know what to ask them. Please tell me what I should ask them also.
That's a great idea. Soha, thank you so much. This was so fun.
Thank you.
It's always fun to sit down with you, and I'm so excited for everything you decide to build, because I know that at the end of it, there's something for us, which is girls who follow you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, this is Soha Ali Khan, and I'm with Raw Talks on Just Do Filmy.